Isandam, this is Ma Mridul, and welcome back to Facebook Live. Uh, One of the important clicks that I got today while I was just sitting down and speaking to people was the minute you decide to micromanage your daily activities, the minute you decide to micromanage your work, you'll find you going undergoing tremendous healing in your inner space. Now, what is micromanaging, you may ask? Micromanaging is basically managing in a very micro manner. That means checking every single detail if it's correct, checking if you're really delivering what you should be delivering, checking your work to see whether it's updated with the latest stuff, so that when someone reviews your work, they have no further questions to ask. Now, I learned this skill over these years when I worked, especially in a capacity as a finance professional, and knowing that in finance, you've got to be very meticulous when numbers are concerned. You could be very careful with the way you prepare your reports. You wouldn't want the single digit being omitted or single digit being added. So I grew up in that space where I was constantly very meticulous, and I was constantly being micromanaged by my seniors, and I was micromanaging my juniors as well. But what I learned in the last couple of years was the moment you micromanage your work, that means you know every single thing that's happening in your department, you know every single task that's not attended yet, and you have that clear in front of you. When you start micromanaging, you're actually on top of a lot of things. You're more in control of yourself. Now, sometimes just to share about how I actually addressed how I became more of a micromanager, especially during weekends. Because my whole week is very tied up with a lot of meetings, back-to-back meetings with people within the company, outside the company. I had little time to actually catch up on emails, and I think you all can relate to it. So I used to spend my weekends reviewing my emails. Just give me a minute. Yes. So what I used to do was reviewing my emails during weekends. Yes, and there was when I saw that even if I skipped a day or two or skipped one weekend where I did not review my emails, I would see the email backlog happening, and I would actually feel I'm losing control of things. But there was once I actually literally sat down the entire day, went through all of my emails and make sure they were replied to. If they were not replied, then it's a sending item that needs to be replied to. And by doing that, I really felt I'm now in control of things. And that gave me immense healing in my inner space. Little did I know there was also uh, a similar mechanism inside that was happening. While you micromanage your outside, your inside gets micromanaged. And sometimes when we have to look within ourselves and look for something, there's a lot of resistance inside that. If somebody were to tell you that you're carrying this incompletion, or you're carrying this pattern, or you need to drop this, or you need to complete with something, we feel so resistant. One of the ways that you can drop this resistance is by micromanaging your outside world. When you micromanage your work, you micromanage your daily activities, you micromanage your finances, you feel a lot of healing is happening inside. And when that healing happens, you become less violent. Why do we feel sometimes we're just so violent about things? We're so upset, we're so aggressive, we are so angry because we have not micromanaged our external surroundings, or we don't micromanage our daily tasks. So the minute you micromanage yourself and your work, a lot of healing will happen inside, and the tendency for you to get violent is going to be very, very low. So be in that space that yes, I want to micromanage my work. A lot of resistance comes to people when they have to micromanage, because it basically means that I've got to spend more time to monitor people, to follow up on statuses. But at the same time, when you micromanage, it breaks a lot of incompletions inside you, it breaks a lot of patterns inside you, and gives you a much more inner space that you probably need. It expands you basically. And I learned this over the years. And initially, yes, I was resistant as well to micromanaging. And I didn't like people micromanaging me. But over the years, I began to do it myself, and I saw how relevant it was when you micromanage situations around you. People understand better. A lot of people, they also experience clicks within themselves. They get expanded. And after all, Mahadev himself or Sadashiva himself is a micromanager. So we're just following how the cosmos operates. We are no different from the cosmos. So fall in love with micromanaging. The minute you just flow, and micromanage, you see a lot of healing is going to happen, and you're going to feel less violent about things. So start taking the step, start micromanaging your work, your surroundings, your uh, people that you work with. It's going to be an amazing place to expand yourself. Now, be very clear with people when you micromanage them. Tell them that you're doing it to help them. It's not so much for yourself, but more for that person. And you can share this with them, the insights on when you help them to micromanage, they become more effective, more efficient managers, and is in fact going to be helpful to them. So it's actually a, you it's a win-win situation for both. The one who's micromanaging, he benefits because he's more in control, and the one who gets micromanaged is more effective because he learns how to micromanage, and he basically he probably not skip a thing, or he may not even forget an instruction because he's micromanaging his work. So please start looking into yourselves, micromanage your lives. You're going to have an amazing experience, and we'll come back with much more of spiritual truths for each and every one of you. Blessings, and you can.